All right, what's poppin', Tub Nation? Welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a VGC video podcast where we go over what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today, I am joined by my co-host Adi here up top.
And I'm sad to report that now Regulation I is officially dead. So please join us in a moment of silence while we.
I'll talk right through it. Because I don't care at all. Anyways, no, I will have to poll the guests, see how they feel about putting Regulation I to bed here, and then we'll definitely be talking about some champions as well because I feel like this is just the perfect transition week. We've already had several official champions tournaments, to talk about. Like, we're gonna be talking about Korea today, but Kiran, you played in the last of the last Regulation I tournaments, and you managed to finish second over in Melbourne. And as far as we were talking about beforehand, you're also a Regulation I fan.
Yeah, I love Regulation I.
Brutal. But we're excited to hear from you because
Best
you've
format.
also go ahead.
Format.
Go again. Sorry.
Oh, I think you might be lagging a little bit.
No, sorry.
We have the audio like late.
Oh, that's odd. Is it back?
I stepped away to get my mac and cheese, but yeah, I think we're having just like a little bit of a delay. I'll try one thing here really quick before we get right into it started. Sorry guys, I should have tackled this beforehand.
Do you want me to leave and join back?
You could try it. I was gonna move the server region. I don't remember where that button is. Can I do it here? More options now. All right. Hello, Kiran. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Is that better?
That was a much
better.
Quicker response. Yeah. All right. We'll see. That was without the camera as well. So if that's somehow impacting it, we could always do that too. But okay.
I know why that was happening.
All good. So hopefully no hiccups from here on, and then also we have like I was saying, some official champion tournaments have happened, and we will also be talking about Trainers Cup with Nash here. Nash, how you doing?
Very good. I have been qualified now.
Yes, you actually were qualified as of this game on screen here, right? Because this was top 16.
Yeah. Actually, 16 players of Korea can be qualified, so everyone in top 16 is already qualified. So this is onwards.
Yes, but then they didn't stream all of top 8 where you finished. Right? That's where.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Definitely excited to hear about that one, especially because Korea and several other regions have already been playing, like open team sheet, open nature tournaments for a little bit longer than we have here, and that's something that we'll be transitioning to. That's going to be another big topic for today. We'll, I guess, save that for a little bit later because we have that as a separate thing, but definitely want to get into that as well. But with that said, if you are here now, but you're not going to be around for the whole thing, or you'd much rather listen to us talk at 2x speed or watch us on YouTube, it's going to be on Audie's YouTube channel tomorrow. !YT in the chat is where you can find it. CK49 over on YouTube. And then if you have questions for our guests, please do leave them in the chat. I'll be reading it, and we'll be keeping an eye on it as we go along, so that you guys can participate. I see there's already a couple of chat messages. I'll have to catch up.
We're kicking things off with Lima, right?
Yeah. So first off,
I see a great chat about Lima. Reg I ended in the most poetic way. The winner of Lima semifinal 1 said enough of Scarlet and Violet and dropped. So the winner of semifinal 2 won the whole things, and the finals was not played.
What?
I have no idea if that's true or not.
They had to catch a flight. Oh my gosh.
We need context on that. That's crazy.
That's so good, dude. So maybe Pagos is a fraud mon. It couldn't even actually win the finals, no? You know.
I thought it was I thought it was really funny. The discourse on like Twitter, like weeks before this, was like, "Oh, Terrapagos never won a major," and then like some people were responding, being like, "Oh, it actually won like this." I think it was like Lima like 2 years ago, and then other people were like, "Yeah, but it's never won a major with over 100 players," and then in the last tournament, it wins another under 100 player major. So I thought that was
No.
poetic.
Oh man. I guess we got to do more gatekeeping. You know, like we just got to keep gatekeeping it until it's like, no, never won a tournament, you know, in this region or whatever.
It's
It's just
over
like
now.
it's so stupid. But
So
yeah,
the other crazy thing, just a couple
Yeah.
couple things about this tournament. Apparently the guy Eduardo Ramirez, I'm looking him up. He's 74th in LATAM, unless it hasn't updated with these current CP. But like he did not have his Worlds invite locked up, whereas Christian is like top 5 in LATAM right now. Very, very good player. So also a little surprised about just giving up on the tournament like for that reason, you know.
there's
That's
no way.
Curious.
Yeah, like I need to. Oh, it hasn't updated yet. Okay. So he did lock up his Worlds invite.
Oh,
Got it. Okay. That's a little more sane because I was like that. There's no way you get that close. Oh man.
That's so crazy. The other really funny thing about this tournament is that it was 9 rounds, and the way that policy is written right now, anyone with the same record as the 8th place player makes it into top cut. So it was a 6-3 top cut because the 8th place player was 6-3.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
It'll happen. It'll
Those-
happen.
Oh my god. So like 4
which-
people bubble. Crazy.
So no. So 3 people who made day 2 didn't make it.
Oh
into
no,
top
sorry.
cut.
Yeah.
And guess what? That means that one person who went 5 threes and then dropped after round 1 thinking they couldn't make top cut just didn't play their winning in.
Oh my
I
god.
don't even have 6 Pokemon either.
No way.
Right.
It says they have a Ditto
They got the question
on
mark.
Victory Road.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh,
mhm.
yeah. Let's just be on the yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I might. Oh, do I not have the? I thought I linked the standings. I guess I didn't open up standings for Lima. I'll go navigate over there.
So very funny tournament. It was a pretty small tournament. It was 77 masters. So Pago's still a fraud. Won a 77 master tournament. But you know that is one way to say goodbye with some of the wackiest circumstances we've seen in all of Scarlet and Violet.
Absolutely. Len was also there from NA. Managed to get top 4.
Got top 4, yeah.
And then
A Canadian made day 2 of Lima without any restricted Pokemon. Surely that's like juniors or seniors, right?
wait, really?
No.
Players by country. Canada.
I feel like we're getting gaslit.
I don't see a Canadian.
Wait, how did he go? How did he go 5-4? How did that guy go 5-4?
Because you play 7 rounds in day 1 and then 2 rounds in day 2.
Oh.
Oh, it's not 9 rounds. Yeah. Sorry, 8 rounds. I was very confused.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're like just.
I feel like
below. Go ahead, Audie.
I feel like we're getting one guide by chat. I don't know if I believe
Right?
this one. Oh, his CSR plus Zama got taken away midway through day 1, and he still made day 2, and then went 5.
That's pretty good.
Crazy.
What a tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We'll also be talking about Melbourne here in a second. And yeah, we went over there to invade, right? Oliver Escalin.
This is
He
not
did.
the first time he's
He
invaded an Australian event. Do you know if he has like family there or something? Just likes it there.
He had a friend's wedding.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
This particular instance.
I need more Australian friends, I guess.
But he also just loves Melbourne. Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, that's cool. That's
It's
cool.
good.
Any I don't know. Do we want to get into any of the teams here in particular? I see that Toxapex ended up winning the final event. That's pretty funny here. Alongside the Terrapagos, of course. And then honestly, for the rest, these are a lot of things that we've been seeing, and I mean, we won't see again. The format is finally being put to rest. So, um, yeah. Anyways, then let's hop over to Melbourne, to Melbourne, and um, so Kiran, you ended up taking second place overall to Nick in the finals here. Funnily enough, I actually got it backwards because I was watching the stream muted and I just missed the finals ending. And I saw that you got pulled, I think, for an interview before Nick did. So I was just like, oh yeah, I was just like in call with some friends. I was like, yeah, it looks like Kieran won. And I was just like so confused when I looked at the results later.
That's funny.
But you ended up sticking with a Miraidon Ice Rider build that is like, I mean, like a lot of the stuff that we were seeing in the first run. I feel like we didn't see it as often in the second run of Reg I, but the first run. Is this something that you were using back then as well? Just for reminders.
Yeah, so I pretty much I just took in like June of last year, I just took MDB's NASC team and then I replaced Lando with Volk. And then I literally like used that the whole format until Worlds because it was very strong. And then when we came back to Reg I wanted to make Terapagos work because I wanted Terapagos to win the last major. But I couldn't make it work. So then I wasted like a month on that, and then I just went back to the team, and it was just so unbelievably like strong. Like it really can play into anything. It has like some bad matchups, but every single bad matchup you can get out of it by forcing reads like I did in top four and finals. Obviously, it didn't pay off in finals, but like there's always outs. I've never really played a team that like has outs like this team, which is what like makes it so strong, I think.
Totally. I mean, you've got the classic Firewater Grass of Incinemungus and Urshifu, paired with, Ice Rider, Miraidon, Bolt Beam. So I feel like there's just a lot of tools. You want your team to give you as many tools as possible. And this looks like a team that
Absolutely.
does exactly that. So then, I guess that's how you got to the
Yeah,
team.
very-
From your run, what would you say was
fun.
the most like standout
Okay.
game then?
Well, I'll say a couple. So first, I just want to say that like the storyline for finals was very cool because it would crown who would be like the GOAT of Australian regionals in Scarlet and Violet. And we knew that like this was gonna happen if we met in finals. We both had exactly six top eights in Scarlet and Violet and one win. So whoever won the finals match would be deemed the GOAT of Australian regionals in Scarlet and Violet because no one else has those numbers. So shout out Nick for winning. But yeah, I think like some highlight matches would be against Owie in top four. I'm not sure if anyone saw that, but I literally clicked fake out into his CSR game one and game
Yeah,
two as it Terra Ferried. So that was pretty funny. So like me and Owie had practiced the matchup before, and so it's a bit like, and it's a bad matchup for me. So I can't make like mid ground plays. I have to play very like aggressive in the early game and get the turns right. So I pretty much landed when I was on the plane. I was thinking about like what I would do if I played him or Lewis, who was also running the same team, and I thought that they would land on to click Terra Fairy all three games, and so I landed on to click Fake Out all three games. So
oh my
luckily that
god.
paid off. Uh, yeah, and then the finals versus Nick, I just did not like. It's similarly a bad matchup, and I just did not get the calls right, especially in game two. But I think it was a bit closer than it looked because I'm forced to play um, turns like very aggressive on the first turn and call it right because again, like bad matchup. If I make mid ground plays and we play a long game, I can make it look close, but it's not gonna be favor me in the end game, especially when my opponent's very strong. So
Right.
it's funny, like in game two, like he switches to Ursa, and after he mentioned to me, he's like, "Oh, I played you on ladder, and you Draco, you turned my Ursa switch, and I forfeited." And I was like, Yeah, fair enough. Good call. So yeah, really, really well played by Nick. And then other matches, I would highlight also my match against Jack Lloyd. You can
Yes.
see he's got the Chestnut team. He's a really strong player. And he had like a building group around this team. I did know about this team because he was using it back in Reg I Part 1. And we played like a really, really like intense close set, ended up coming down to a 50-50 in the end game of game 3, very like positional slow set. So that was a pleasure to play that match. But yeah, this team's crazy.
It is. I believe Jack sent it to me on Twitter as well, if I feel like pulling it up, because I imagine he was only sending it to me to pull up for this. But so Jack Lloyd is who I was attempting to smart money on Tub Takes last week.
Sure.
But
I
I
saw
said
that. That was horrible.
so I said Jack Clark. I was like, oh, that's the Jack I'm thinking of, right? And then they're like, that guy's from the UK. What are you talking about? I was like, oh no. And so I said, I'm just picking the Jack from Australia. Jack Lloyd messages me after the event, and he's like, I think you might have been trying to smart money me. However, I just want you to know that I was working with my buddy Jack Roth for this tournament. They both
That's
used
what I
the
was
bike
gonna
thing.
Hey, that's what I was gonna
and
say.
and now it makes my pick look even like worse. Not like in that I picked bad or anything like that, but it's just like so here's what's in the doc is that I just put Jack because I was like, oh, I'm just picking the Jack from Australia. You know who I'm talking about. And now there's just like two Jacks, and it's like, come on, Alex, you had to be more specific if you're gonna make your shoot your shot. Also got to give credit where credit's due to Aurelian for actually picking the winner. So very good shot there. Joji got top 8, and Dimitri. Actually, I
Yeah,
don't know.
5-3.
Top 16, Joji.
Oh,
was one win off.
Joji only top 8. You're top 15. Okay. Got it.
Dimitri went 5-3. I thought he had a rough run. He also brought a
Unfortunate.
bad team.
Well, I guess he knows what to do next time. Maybe bring a good team. I gotta say, bringing it back to what you said about your team, though, Kiran. I think that those were my favorite insights from this so far. Is that you knew that this team had issues, but you just would turn up the heat when the matchups got hard, and you were able to find your way out of bad spots by just refusing to give in. I feel like it's something that I don't know. Whenever I'm doing like coaching sessions, I talk a lot about with my students because it's so easy to just like be scared of taking risks. Faking out a Calyrex early because you're what if it goes wrong? If it goes wrong, you might be really behind, and it's like, well, you can play the long game and just gradually get behind instead. That's what feels bad.
Yeah, it's all just like macro awareness, I guess. Like just understanding like how the matchup interacts and like what it means when you're playing a bad matchup against a really strong player. Like it also depends on like the quality of your opponent as well. When making that decision to play a 50 in turn 1, because even like let's say like you do play like a long out game, like if your opponent plays well as well and the matchup's bad, it's likely going to come down to a 50-50 in that game anyway. So like like you're just delaying that inevitability.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. I love the way that you put it. Adi, were you linking me the leaderboards? Because I do have those up. We were gonna
Oh, cool.
discuss those as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
we should talk about that. So
I care way more about this than I do the teams that came out of the regional, although the Chestnut team was pretty cool. Because you mentioned Dimitri going 5-3, luckily already very safe, but it was a close call for what is currently I believe 23 Worlds invites in Oceania. Is that right?
Yes, 23.
yeah, so Kiran, tell us about it. So
4
you were
points.
saying, go ahead.
Yes, the standings, like especially before this regional, especially like maybe 17 to like 26 was like very, very bunched up. So there was a lot of like people, it was a pretty important regional for a lot of people looking to lock in their world's invite, and it's still like so close. I know like 23 and 24, obviously 4 points, but I also believe that the 25th slot is going to NISC and maybe Indianapolis. So even though our last event like wrapped up, it's still like a bit stressful for the people in the 22, 23 position. Yeah, I don't think it was like this close last year, but it's interesting.
And
that is
the
tense.
player's 23rd right now, Jacob Margaret. I think I saw he got 18th at this tournament. Is he also the guy who did well in Europe with Comfey Kingdra? I feel like I remember that name.
Yeah, he played like that was him. He played at the start of the season. I think it was in Europe or something because he played like a lot of EU regionals. But yeah, he was using he's the guy who got like fissured on stream or something, I believe, by Joan with the Comfey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I pulled it up.
There you go.
Who remembers this team on stream?
I do remember this one.
And oh man, 67th place. So bubbled out of points a couple times, bubbling into top 32 at this regional and out of top 64 at that regional.
Right.
And if what you're saying is true, there's still locals to be played, you said, and there's still people going to NAIC. That might have cost him because that's a really close cutoff line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we actually should
It's
pull
nice
up
to not have to worry about
Latin America as well, really quick.
We said it was told it hadn't updated yet,
How
right?
many invites do they
Oh, you're right, Audie. It didn't update yet. How much do they get again? Is it 50?
I want to say it's like 60. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I
But if it's not updated, then yeah, we won't
think
know.
it was 60 because they had 50 last year.
Yeah, maybe that's it then. But
I think it's 60.
So it looks
60,
close here currently, but that's pre.
But
Lima,
obviously
so.
they had like a lot of tournaments.
Okay, then yeah, maybe we'll have to come back to that one. So
And I'm sure it'll extend down to like at least like how many regionals did they have? They had a lot of regionals.
Well, so they have 7 people who won regionals plus the Lima special event, so that'll be 8. I think we sniped one of their invites from Pengi, I believe. And so
right.
That's right.
But otherwise, yeah. So they should have 68 Worlds invites at the end of the season, unless they got one from the internet that I'm forgetting.
Juan Solano?
Oh, he does have the
also
internet
win,
finals, but he also won a regional.
He won a regional as well. Okay, I see.
Right. Okay then. So, I guess before I was wanting to like triple check this before, but I was getting confirmation that we are done with Regulation I. I don't think there's anything else official for Regulation I. So is it anything that we should say before?
That's right. Oko podcast. You heard it here first. We are now done with Regulation I. How dare you imply that we weren't?
So true. The people were getting a little upset. They were like, I know some Australian players were like, we're not done. We still got our chance. 100%. So
always disrespected.
Oh yes, actually, Mike, thank you. Somebody mentioned this to me before we started as well. That yeah, technically locals. You're right. Locals still ongoing for a little bit here. Still very much Regulation I. Still very much Scarlet and Violet. Yeah. So are we gonna miss Scarlet and Violet? I mean, I don't know. I had my fun playing it. I gotta say, like going into it, I thought Terra was a way better mechanic than most things that we played in the past. At the end, I've kind of grown to hate it. Not as nearly as much as Dynamax, but, you know, I'm happy to be able to, you know, in Champions now, close combat a King Gambit and have that King Gambit be always weak to the close combat. You know, like, that's something that does feel very comforting.
Agreed.
Yeah, Nash,
I'm gonna
I want to hear some of your...
I started with...
Oh, Kiran, go ahead.
Yeah, I started like playing like competitive in Scarlet and Violet, so definitely will have some nostalgia about it. I really enjoyed like pretty much all the formats, to be honest. Reg I was my favorite Scarlet and Violet format overall. I think it was the best. There was, you know, obviously, you know, times when the formats were like some of the power level formats were a bit rough, but overall I thought it was I thought it was a good generation of Pokemon.
Yeah. Nash, what are your Reg Eye thoughts then.
I
Or sorry,
mean,
not Reg Eye, not Reg Eye. Scarlet Violet.
Scarlet and Violet in general, right? Yeah. I mean, the game itself was it had ups and downs. It had fun parts. It had terrible parts. Exactly like you mentioned. Like being I think like the typings are very fundamental in VGC, and it being not trustworthy, so to say, was very stressful. And I've been banned the whole season of Scarlet and Violet, so I didn't really like it. The only reason I'm unbanned is because it's done. So I'm happy with it.
So true, so true.
Fair
That's
enough.
true. um, yeah, I feel like we probably should have recapped that for anybody that was in the dark on that one, but Nash, you are back now. We're actually going to be talking about Trainers Cup here
I
in
am.
a second. And the reason you were banned was for the Metronome thing a couple years ago, right?
Uh-huh. Metronome incident was a thing back in 2023. It was because if you remember what the year was, 2023, it was from COVID to back to normal life. So we were kind of expecting things to go back to normal, having actual tournaments, but our circuit was pretty heavily online based. So I didn't want it to last that way. So we did a little bit of a cute protest, locking in all top four with Metronome and got banned with it. So that was what it is, but now it's done. Um, Circuit is kind of back, kind of not back, but it's still, I think, in the process of getting better. I really
Mhm.
like that it's improving. So yeah, I think aside from me being tortured, everything's going back to normal.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to see you competing. I was so excited when they featured you on stream, and I'm excited to see that you're qualified for Worlds. That doesn't always mean that people are going or not. So I just wanted to ask. I guess, are you going?
Uh-huh, I am. I'll see
All
you
right,
there.
awesome, perfect. Yeah, be seeing you there. Well, I gotta do it first. Audie, you got less to worry about. You're like top 16 in NA or something, or close to it.
I'm top. I'm 17th in NA actually. Not I'm bubbling out, but
Oh,
no,
that's
top
cool.
20. It's pretty safe.
All right, so Audie,
And it turns
what are
out one
your
simple trick to being top 20 in NA, and that is going to LATAM. Just like Len did. Go get top 4 at a LATAM special event. It's not play your 70 player regionals. They're right there.
where is Len in the standings? I might pull him up here while I ask you, Audie, what are your final thoughts on Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah, I think, Terra as a mechanic was really fun to explore. I think we learned a lot about it over time. And we got a lot better at using it. And I disliked it in that it meant that there was that Pokemon with unique typings, there was less of a reason to explore some of the more niche choices because because the typings didn't matter as much. And so that was, like Nash said, one of the things that makes these Pokemon unique, and you're taking that away. And so we ended up using a lot of just big defensive stat balls that could turn into whatever type you needed instead of using Pokemon with unique typings to solve problems. And so I think that got really tiring. That being said, objectively, this is my most successful generation. I had a bunch of top cuts over the course of this, and I had a lot of fun at a bunch of events. I also had some formats that I absolutely hated. So if I could, play Regulation I and Regulation H for longer, I definitely would have enjoyed that. But also, if it comes interspersed with Regulation Fs, then I'd be suffering through that. And I don't also, low key don't feel like much has actually changed with champions. It sounds weird, but like it does feel like more Regulation H in a lot of ways, like a little twist on it. So it's not as drastic a change as a generation shift normally feels like, is I guess how I'll phrase it. Because this is a big change, but it's not as big a change as say going from Dynamax 2 to Rascalization was.
Mm-hmm. I'm agreeing with you on the parts where you said that like you didn't like that it's limited. It basically just led to the stat sticks being used more often, um and then the other thing was so sorry, the other thing was that that we still had fun, that we still had our fun with it. That was the other part, is that we still um totally had our fun with Scarlet and Violet. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be talking right now and doing this whole thing if I wasn't enjoying VGC for what it still is, you know. Scarlet and Violet was still a lot of fun, and I
It's
gotta say, like, my
Pokemon.
favorite part about Scarlet and Violet was most of the new additions that they added, like the Pokemon, besides like the Paradox guys, like they just added so many cool guys. Like, you know, I mean, we're looking at like, you know, Tinkaton in Champions and it's doing all right. Like Garganacl, Ceruledge, Armarouge, like they really nailed a lot of the designs for Pokemon competitively, like not just like, you know, aesthetically or whatever, but like they all made like a bunch of really unique and new Pokemon with what they were doing. Of course, Earthworm. All right, why didn't I mention Earthworm? That's a good point, Toasty. I love Worm. So it just they crushed it with the Pokemon design, and I'm hoping I'm excited to see more then because yeah, they just like you said, very few misses there in the chat.
For real, dude. They really did. They had I mean, I made a whole 40-minute video saying exactly this, but like every single Pokemon in this generation really was like very meticulously designed to have some competitive use case, even if it wasn't necessarily good. Like they figured out a way to theoretically make it usable, at least think about how you'd want to use it. Um, and obviously, like even like the Rapskos with the Revival Blessing as a signature move, right? Or like Darkspawn seeing like niche play, like all sorts of like random Pokemon would see some play. But yeah, I feel a lot like that. The big stat balls, like the Iron Hand to the Fluttermanes, if they weren't around, and we might have seen a lot more usage of those guys. But I really hated the Paradox Pokemon because of
Yeah,
how they kind of drowned out all the more interesting picks.
Right.
Exactly.
I think like one good point to make for Scarlet and Violet is also I think like overall like there was a lot of like very net positive like progress for like competitive Pokemon. Obviously like the size of players compared to grew a lot. You know, we got like better streams in more regions like Australia, like LATAM. We got open team sheet, which I'm a big fan of. We got increased prize money. Like I think it was a lot of obviously it's the Pokemon company. There's gonna be like some negatives and whatnot, but I think in the net like there were a lot of good advancements which have helped like competitive grow and made accessibility easier.
No, so true.
Same here too. Like, I'm a professional Korean circuit hater, but we did have a lot of improvements on production wise, and also like same opinion with what Ari have said. Some of the points I've wanted to mention is that back in Gen 8, if you think of Pokemons like Colossal, it's a Pokemon that can't be used outside of Dynamax, right? It's kind of hard to use it without Dynamax, but I feel like a lot of the mons introduced in Gen 9 are usable even without the gimmicks, like the Terastal.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's like I think what makes a lot of these Pokemon so fun is that they used Terra well. A lot of them, you know, like an Armarouge Terra Grassing was quite strong, but I think it's still a very cool, unique Pokemon. When Psychic Terrain is around, it's not been tearing it up in Champions right now, but like I think it still definitely could, even without Terra. Okay, so we have a lot of champion stuff to be discussing this week as well, and so I want to make sure that we keep things moving along here. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for Scarlet and Violet. If there's ever stuff relevant to it, we'll be sure to bring it up. But for the most part, let's move on to talking about some champion stuff. And I think this is the first one to get into before we really get into the results of the champions tournaments that took place over this weekend. And that is the open natures. Now, the thing is, there's a whole lot of text on here, and I'm not going to read all this. Basically, it says right here, the content of your team list where it says all the normal stuff. It says stat alignment. Adi, you have a timeline for this? Let me see, because I was curious about that.
No,
I was going to mention it.
I have a timeline for when Arcanine is getting updated because they're updating it with this stuff.
No, that's what I wanted to know. That is what I wanted to know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was going to mention that as a related point. So, because the thing is that right now it says stat alignment, and I don't know why we couldn't just use the exact wording that like the games use often, like saying just like nature is going to be on your team list. Basically, there's like enough of a shadow of a doubt or whatever you want to call it that people have not been ready to fully commit to this being right, but I mean, I'm very much in the camp that I think it's going to be what we're playing. We're going to be playing with open natures now in TPCI regions, and yeah, I think for the most part, if you're not, I mean, by the time that you're watching this on YouTube tomorrow, we'll probably know the answer or something like that, basically, or maybe in that evening. But at this point, it's just better to get yourself ready for this future than to just if it turns out that we're not actually playing open nature, it's going to be very easy to adjust back to what we've known for so long. With that said, though, open nature is a very interesting change, and so Nash, I want to hear. I actually want to hear your thoughts last. Sorry, I called on you here because I want to hear what these people feel about the adjustment, and then I want to hear about you, who's played with it already, and say,
Yep.
you can just tell us, after all of our concerns, how much that does or doesn't matter. So, Kiran, I'll start with you. What do you think about open nature?
Yeah, so I'm not like the biggest fan of it. I think like the ability to like make game plans and make plays based around covering for your opponent being whatever nature is in the realm of possibility. I think that is like a significant like skill expression. Like the person who plays around the Chiyu being timid or modest and creates a game plan that is good either way is going to win more games than the player who just plays and assumes that it's timid or modest or whatever. So I think Open Team Sheet like did enough as far as like information. But at the end of the day, I also just don't think it's going to make like that much of a difference, to be honest. And then like also, like I think I saw someone say that like, like winning a game off like cheesing some because you have a nature is also not like an expression, like a random nature is also not like a very good skill expression. So I don't know. I get it either way. And then you have the creativity and team building argument. I'm not like too worried about it, but
Right.
I don't think anyone was like particularly asking for it. So I was a bit curious. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, that last thing you mentioned there is a very critical point as well. Is why did this come to be? We don't quite know.
Maybe
Sorry, say
to
again.
align with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to align with the Japan circuit, because I believe they were using open nature, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that is a good point. It's super. It just feels so strange. The timing of it, being so close to the first, NA tournament. Now they're just dropping on this about almost, barely a week beforehand. Um, and yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised to hear that you were, leaning slightly against it, I guess, or maybe you sound almost like more neutral, I guess, but like you were pro open team sheet, so I didn't know if you would also be just
Yeah,
more
I was like
information's
pro
better.
open team sheet from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pro open team sheet from the start. I think I lean like slightly negative on this, but I'm not like I'm pretty indifferent. I'm relatively indifferent about it. But I think the open team sheet is like the perfect amount of information that needs to be communicated, such that like it rewards the stronger player.
So then, Adi, what are your thoughts then?
So Alex, I remember you DM me after this asking like, what do you take? And I was like, I kind of don't care. Like at this point, this isn't really that big a difference than open team sheet, like Kiran said. It does change some things. I know that in particular, I've definitely had teams where I, might think, oh, if this Charizard is timid, I have one game plan because I know it can't live in attack. But if it's modest and it's bulkier usually, then I need a different game plan. And so all of a sudden it becomes way easier to find that out, right? That's like a use case that's pretty real. But like overall, like it feels like what's really happening is they are systematically over time removing the like uncertainty that one aspect of uncertainty. There's still other variants in Pokemon, right? There's still move accuracy and secondary effects. There's still what your opponent's actually going to do, but now there's no uncertainty about what options your opponent has. And I think that Alex and I have commiserated about this in the past that we miss playing in the closed team sheet days. I think it takes away from team building creativity and going into a tournament with something totally brand new and unexpected, which is one of the joys of competitive Pokemon to me for a long time. And some of the best moments on stream as well, where when people had totally surprise picks no one was ready for. Dragonclaw Groudon, I think is an example I saw Sierra and Joe use on the Oko podcast when they were talking about it, where how Wolf got knocked out of Worlds off that surprise Game 3 tech. So I miss those moments. Now, as for why it's happening now, I do have a theory. I haven't shared this one. I think what's happening is they're going to implement Open Team Sheet into Pokemon Champions, and so that's why it has to be standardized across Japan and the U.S.
Well,
and the rest of
wait.
the world.
Adi, I think that's a weird way to look at it, because the as is the, like, I guess maybe it doesn't actually matter, but the replica code page, the rental code page, is what I imagine Open Team Sheet would look like in game, and it currently doesn't show nature. That was always my thought. I would always, like, that's what everyone is asking for, is like, why can't I press plus during a battle and it pops up the no stats replica code page, but that doesn't have natures on it, so I don't know. I honestly, let me put another theory out there really quick. Is some people were also thinking it could just be like an anti-cheating thing as well, because of like something to do with the lack of battle boxes.
True.
That's how we ended up here in the first place with Open Team Sheets, right? I believe it was like I think that's kind of, I don't know, maybe that's just a guess and a theory. But like people were like, because we can't lock battle boxes, we're gonna start playing Open Team Sheet tournaments so that people aren't just changing their things between rounds. The battle boxes will not be locked. We're not, playing in the cool TPC circuits that, have their pros and cons, of course. But wait, actually, Nash, were your battle boxes locked then?
Yep. Actually, our system was like, that there's actual live competition system within the game that you enter through the starting page by pressing minus.
Right.
And when I entered that, obviously these teams for Trainers Cup were locked a week before the tournament. We were supposed to like submit the team within the system through online competition thing. And then when I got to the venue and got into the live competition system, the teams were locked, and it didn't even like take a spot in my box, so to say. So I think like it's like a complete different thing that locks your team at certain period. So I feel like the thing you told us about the game not having the lock system is pretty much solved, but they're still pushing forward with this open nature.
It's weird, especially because, well, that one thing I will add to that is that we will not be using that system at our tournament this weekend. For who knows why? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it can't handle a tournament of the size that we're doing or whatever. I don't know. But I would love to be returning to a system like this. But right now, the rules have been updated and such that we will be setting up battles using the private battle feature, exchanging a code with our opponent, and kind of doing it how our regions have been doing it through Scarlet and Violet, but just in the new Champions way. It's the same but different. Now it's a private battle and not a union circle or whatever. But yeah, the battle box locking feature seems to be in the game, but we're just not using it. So I don't know. Maybe that does kind of hinder my argument then. Okay.
I guess the way I see it, I think what happened is they launched this game, and then one of the first things they got from inside the Pokemon company, but from the Play Pokemon people who do competitive tournaments, is like, hey, we are missing all these features that we need to host tournaments. Right, like that's something that they can get. Like judges surely told them about this. We heard about the thing where the way that they want to host locals isn't really compatible with the way that our local systems work, right? So I'm sure that's some of the first feedback that they got as far as like things they have to update in the game. And one of those things was also, hey, tournaments are open team sheet. We need an open team sheet mode. But this game is developed not necessarily by Play Pokemon, the Western version, right? It is based in Japan. In Japan, they have open nature. So I think that when they got the list of specifications for how they need to implement it, they decided to implement it with open nature.
I see what you're saying.
That's my theory. I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see a bunch of other updates as well that make it easier to host tournaments. So by the time we have regionals next year, and by the time we have locals next year, a lot of the compatibility issues are going to be solved, and they're really. I imagine there's going to be a big patch that addresses a lot of these issues sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally before mobile comes out, because they're going to want to host tournaments with mobile as soon as possible.
Right.
So then, Nash, I do want to hear your take on it now because we were talking about all the different things that we're worried about with it and not. First off, has Korea been playing with this since the beginning of Scarlet and Violet?
Okay, so here's a quick rundown.
Yeah.
From the East, Japan has been doing open team sheet with nature, but it's been kind of random, so to say, because
Right.
their region, the PGCS system, goes with CTS basically until top eight, and top eight onwards, it's like before top eight, it's CTS and it's best of one,
Yes.
but onwards from top eight, it's suddenly open sheet with nature and it's best of three. So it's kind of random, but Korea, in 2024 we went with actual open sheet team sheet that you guys know, not the nature.
Sure.
But in winter of 2024, they suddenly have this little event where the nature is open. So we were kind of bummed. Like we were thinking that okay, it's going to the world's mode, but suddenly the nature is open in this event. So like, what are they doing? But then in 2025, it was back to normal like worlds format, no nature. And then this year it's open nature again. So we were like, what are
So
you
it's not
doing? Like,
consistent. Not at all.
like
Okay.
it's like when dogs are like fetching this way and that, like we're like not knowing which way to go. So
Mm-hmm.
and then like this news about the TPCI regions having open nature was suddenly an issue after our teams were locked in. So we were like, so maybe it's the direction that you want to go with. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's why like so I'm trying to confirm that for Korea, even for Korea, open nature coming back in this year was kind of random for us as
Sure.
well. So like we were kind of puzzled until TPCI announcement was made. But yeah, that was kind of the consent here.
Okay. And so it's actually been very back and forth, back and forth. But
Yeah.
with that said, you've seen it before, and kind of like played with it. You played with it this weekend. What are
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts on it? Do you think it actually isn't that big of a deal, or do you think it's huge? Do you prefer it or not?
So from my personal point of view, I think um personally I kind of want to go back to close team sheet best of three,
Let's
but
go.
yeah, but like from my point of view, it wasn't about what I prefer, but for us, like the tournament was like a week ahead, and we didn't have any, choice. We had to adapt to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, planning onwards to it, like what are you gonna do? The game is having open nature, and
Mm-hmm.
with that in mind, it actually kind of transforms our way of preparations, because currently in the metagame, there's a lot of Pokemons that has to go with mirror matchups, like Garchomp being one thing. Garchomp can OHKO. I mean, it doesn't OHKO, but it's a threat to opposing Garchomp, right? So
Yes.
in that sense, it being Jolly or Adamant is very crucial. And um, you know, if you're if you're having Jolly max speed Garchomp, which I did actually, you can have a confirmation to yourself when you see opposing adamant Garchomp. So that was kind of crucial. And
Mm-hmm.
also, one thing I figured out throughout the game was that I faced against Sung Jae Jung, which is Nikki, who had top four in Worlds in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
In my showcase matchup in top 16. So I see his open nature team sheet and I see his fur giraffe. His fur giraffe is actually relaxed nature.
Mm-hmm.
So from there on, I kind of like get the mindset that okay, so I if I were to like um bug bite him to death, it might not OHKO him, so I might need to rock slide him first and then go for bug bite, or I could just go for moonblast because he's not specially defensive. So
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of mindset, like how to prepare for the matchup totally like transitions because like in normal setup, like what we used to know, it was you know, try and find out, right? Like you go
Yep.
first game and you hit it first and then okay, this guy is kind of bulky, so maybe like he's defensively trained, and you find
Mhm.
out, you fix the game, but you kind of not have to do it in the changed open nature kind of way.
Right. You
So that was, I think, really big.
you're
I have
reminding
a
me
question.
of yeah, Kieran, go ahead.
I
Uh,
have a question for you, Nash.
Okay, okay.
all
But
right,
you're
wait.
lagging kind of.
Kieran, it might be
Do you
lagging
know
too badly to
anyone
the
who, or even yourself, who after like the announcement, I know it was like very soon before your tournament, did they make any changes to their teams based on?
Oh, for us, the tournament we had were announced to have open nature since like 2 months ago or 1 month ago. So we had plenty of time adjusting to it.
Okay. Okay. So you knew in advance it was going to be
Yeah,
open nature, but you had to
we knew
lock
what
in like
was
a week in
coming.
advance, right?
Yeah, we need to locked in for Sunday, last Sunday, and the tournament was Monday. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Oh yeah, and also I think I saw the answer for this one, but a lot of people were confused as to why you were competing on a Monday. But that
Oh yeah.
that was a holiday, right?
It's yeah, it was a holiday. It's Buddha's Day, like equivalent to Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess happy late holidays to you.
Yep.
And but yeah, the what was I gonna say? So I actually wanted to bring it back to because Kieran earlier alluded to a take from somebody on Twitter saying that like winning with a random nature isn't actually like like something that's randomly bulky or randomly fast isn't actually like skill. And that one I'm gonna
Hmm.
just say who it came from. It was from Fede, and it made me very mad because I was just like, okay, it's not the key word here is random. I think random is a very inaccurate word because like that's not how it is. Like I didn't make my Incineroar specially defensive for fun. I didn't just, decide like I'm going to be, so quirky and run a specially defensive Incineroar. It's like, no, I probably have a reason to run this, and it's the reason that, came up in the battle. So this one definitely just it didn't sit well with me because I very much didn't disagree or didn't agree with it, which is fine. I think that it's awesome that we're having like discourse on this stuff over Twitter or whatever, but just this specifically the word random, I was just like, no, it's not random. Like I chose it to do this. Like that's the fun of it, is to like be rewarded in the team builder
No,
for catching your
I agree
opponent
with
off.
you, buddy.
Go ahead, Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, and like another skill of Pokemon is like team building and like realizing it's a skill to realize like why your team isn't winning a specific matchup, and then like if you're able to identify that, then you can make changes. Like for example, I like at in Reg F at Sydney Regionals, and that was very intentional for like my bad matchup. So I think it like I agree with your point more than Fedecampo's point here.
Right, right.
I'll give you another example that I really love is Gavin and Nails and them running the Kyogre Ice Rider team that they used basically all format. Gavin won a regional, Nails cut worlds with it, and it was Impish Calyrex Ice Rider, and people kept trying to nuke it. People just kind of trying to really throw big damage into it. It kept living attacks, because it's Impish, right? And you never do that if you know it's not doing any damage to you, and you know how much defense it has in open team sheet, but because natures weren't revealed, it was just that much better. I think that's I think that's cool. I think that's like part of the beauty of Pokemon and part of the fun of team building is figuring out these small optimizations, and they're less likely to work in open nature. But that's also true of like, trying different ideas out, and just it kind of comes down to how much do you want teams to be different, really, right? Because the further away you go from the norm, the standard, uh especially if it turns out that the metagame is centralized around, some very specific things. You're less and less incentivized to try out different things that are less likely to work because you lose out on some of the margins you would get, which is that surprise
Right.
factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do think that's, I don't know. I very much like that part of Pokemon, and like it is funny because I don't know. I was glad that I got to hear Kiran say that, like coming from open team sheet to open nature, as somebody that started um in Scarlet and Violet, I was, I felt the exact same way when we went from, closed team sheet best of 3 to open team sheet best of 3. And it made me, like, it grounded me because I was just like, maybe I just liked what I started with, and like what
Yeah.
I had gotten used to, because I loved closed team sheet best of 3. I had my fun with it. When they transitioned to it, I was like, no, we had it fine before. The game was good. I still stand by what I think, but it's like, it's important to remember, like, why you have the opinions that you have. Like, I'm gonna say that 2017 is my favorite format of all time still for the rest of my career, and then people will be like, well, how did you do that format? I'll be like, well, I did win 2 regionals, but that's not important. And it's like, okay, maybe it is a little important, man. Like, like there's some bias could be detected for sure. But yeah, so it's like I just like, I'm appreciating that you I don't know, it's all coming into picture for me, I guess, that way. So, do we have any other open nature thoughts then before we move on to looking at some of the results of the tournaments this weekend? I don't know if anybody else had any other things to mention about it. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, Nash. Oh, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
Let's go ahead and talk about career here. I'll give it one more refresh to see if they. Yeah. Okay. So if we want to talk about any
Yeah.
teams in particular, I will check Discord here because you posted pretty much all of them there for top 16. Top 16.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good on that one. And then I actually, before we get into looking at any of the teams at all, I just kind of want to talk a bit more about your experience. We've heard bits and pieces of it as well, but I wanted to hear more about that live competition mode. And then also we can talk about this. I'll just have this in the background for that as well. But yeah, let's talk about the live competition mode thing because you said something about that.
Right. So Pokemon Champions has been out for a month and a half now, but this was my first time, testing out this live competition mode since it's the first tournament. And it was pretty rough to have it. I think it was generally okay, but every time you had to enter this certain code. So basically, what it is that a week before the tournament, I had to lock in the team, and when I did lock in the team through online competitions, they gave me this entry code. So this code I had to like capture with my phone, like take a picture or so, and then when I got into this live competition mode, I had to enter that code every time. So like every round, I had to enter the whole code, 10-digit code in, and then I get to enter the um, competition page with my team on it, and
Right.
then I type in a room number, which is basically a table number we had, and then my opponent and I get matched, and we compete each other, and then after that, onwards to next round, I had to enter the 10-digit code again. So like it
No.
it had to happen all the whole tournament. So like it was kind of rusty, so to say, but um but aside from that, generally the tournament itself runs pretty nicely, I think. But one thing kind of popped into my mind, so that's why I wanted to talk about it, is that when I went to the stage, I was in my top 16 match in my streamed match stage, and I was against, yeah, this is the screen you're watching. And then it's game one, set one. First game, first turn, I'm trying to lock in my moves, and the game kind of freezes for a moment, like split second, and then I saw my remaining time. It was like 3 to 5 seconds left, but the move just shot out. Like if you play champions enough, and if you play ladder enough, you know what it is. Like the it says that there's remaining time, but it just shoots out the move. So what happened was my first move shot out. So I was kind of terrified because this is a streamed match. I want to win this, and I don't know which move is going out. But luckily for me, Nash a week before didn't trust the game and put protect on first move for both Garchomp and Floette. So it became a scout out turn, so I safely won the match, but it was kind of terrifying. So what I wanted to mention for people going to Indianapolis is that first things first, have safe move on first move, and if you're
Yeah.
on stream match, it might be kind of laggy um, in the streaming settings, so you might not. It might be better that you didn't completely trust the remaining time.
Right. I've had that happen on ladder already. It definitely feels like you can't do 0-second inputs on ranked ladder for sure. I'm always
Yeah.
wanting to get in a little bit earlier than that. Somebody asked here, did you play on your own system on stream, or was that a theirs?
Oh, you mean like my
The
own
Switch,
Switch?
the Switch,
Yeah,
Switch
yeah,
2.
yeah. We played on my own Switch. Yeah.
That was your Switch 2 there. Okay, okay.
Yep.
Good to know. And then yeah, another thing is I definitely want to go back and watch the set now and see after turn one your reaction, because I imagine your eyes might get like big. You're like, oh, what happened there? I gotta go I gotta go look for that.
I did try
uh,
to keep calm, so it
right,
doesn't show too much. I'm
poker
a
face.
poker face guy, so yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes. um, okay, okay, yeah, and yeah, we unfortunately, so in Indy, for better or for worse, we are not going to be playing that competition mode. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll have better or worse lag. We will be having like 1,000 switches connected to the local Wi-Fi, but
Right.
that'll be through Ethernet cords and stuff like that. Like we have like
hmm
cables and stuff. Wait, does that? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
we
still
did
works. That
with
still
cable.
works.
Yeah, yeah.
You did with cables too. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we
Good.
did
Good.
with cables.
That's so
Um.
problematic. Like, I don't know if like this is an experience at like other regionals, but like if I'm like at Melbourne, for example, like everyone was DCing round one, and then everyone just played like offline because it just like was not working for like the rest of the
Oh
tournament.
no.
And, like,
Oh
DCing.
no.
So
Oh,
that possibility is like completely removed then in Indianapolis if it's like disconnecting a lot.
Yes, yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, if we have Wi-Fi issues at all, like it is all screwed. It is just completely
Yeah,
screwed. There's no offline
that's
mode to save
scary.
you.
it
That
Uh,
is
is.
scary.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
But this
Okay.
lagging issue could as well be just championship itself, not the live competition mode. So
hmm
still, you need to be worried about it, I think.
Yes, be careful, 100%. Um, okay, so let's talk about the tournament itself then a little bit. So qualified through the GC, right? That was the qualifying thing.
Yep. We did have only one GC this year, so
Yes.
it was do or die. One chance, a classic Eastern way, so to
Yes.
say. But so the thing was kind of interesting. I figure this is the same for players in an A or so. Champions is bringing back a lot of old players, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
that's exciting.
at least for Korea, yeah, for that's the case. We have a lot of like old generation players that quit during like Gen 8 or Gen 9 that comes back to Champions hype. So it was kind of cool. But that also raised the top 64 bar for Korea. So
hmm
it ended up being really close to 1700s, which is normally not the case for like Scarlet and Violet years. So a lot of people like suffered testing the limits or not. So that was kind of brutal.
hmm
And then top 64 people were invited through the system. We were actually like sent a mail within the system, like not in actual, emails, but within the
That's cool.
mailbox in the system. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's sick.
So, and then those people were only those people were able to, send the team in the online team lock thing that I mentioned. So yeah, after that we went to offline venue, played the game, and top 16 people were going to Worlds. So that was what it is.
It honestly, it's so silly that like, I mean, I'm sure that you look at our circuit and see all the things that you like better about it, but like I'm just like looking at the fact that you have like in-game invites to the tournament mode, and I'm like, ah, that sounds so cool. Like it just sounds so
Yeah.
cool.
It is. It is the bright side of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have
Um,
a question for Nash as well. I was just curious, how many Korean players played in the GC, like looking to qualify?
Um, the issue is I can't tell.
yeah, I
Like
don't know if
it's
there would
not a
be a
top
Right.
secret,
thing.
but I don't know. Because
Okay,
like
yeah, that makes
yeah, it's not like it's not clustered by nations or language. So I
Yeah.
I can't really tell how many people did.
Would you say that it was you said it was, the bar went up and it was harder than did you have a number of friends that missed because it was harder, or you feel like
Yeah,
most people made it?
it was quite unfortunate because like when these kind of stuff happens, we kind of try to figure out where the bar would be during the weekend, right? So like
Yes.
where the cutoff would be settled. So a lot of people figured that it would be somewhere around 1690s or 80s. So people kind of parked there. Um, People in 1692 or so to say were kind of, feeling safe about it, but it ended up being somewhere around 1696. So a lot of people were kicked out, and most notably, one of my friends who won the Trainers Cup 2024, um, missed the opportunity this year.
Oh,
So,
that
remaining
blows. That
champion
blows.
couldn't come. Yeah, that was kind of below.
Um, so then for the tournament, then let's look at some of these results. So I'm just going to be grabbing these kind of individually here, and uh,
Yep.
then we can talk through them. So this was Crystal's team, right? Um,
Yep. Crystal brought Ryoma's team, kind of fixed it for best of three settings, but generally it's the Ryoma's team that
oh, yeah, it's
Ryoma
not the
has
wide card. Yeah, you're right.
qualified in PJCS.
Uh huh.
Ryoma went 10-0 in PJCS online ladder thing. And yeah, a lot of Korean players looked into it, and I myself kind of fixed the team and brought it along. Obviously, Crystal was the best at it and won the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah, this is what I refer to with my friends and stuff as like President Floette, basically. But Charizard's also a big part of the team too. But basically, just Calm Mind Floette backed up by Incineroar and Sinistcha. It's just gonna try to win the whole game with Floette, and it's still a archetype that's doing quite well. I think that these three Pokemon are some of the best for supporting Floette's weaknesses, with Floette kind of being the
Right.
focus of the team. Um, Aegislash is very good at dealing with Sneasler. Sneasler just can't do anything
Mm-hmm.
against Aegislash. Same with Garchomp. And then basically just like any steel type that is going to be annoying has to be asking itself, is my opponent bringing Floette, or are they bringing Charizard? And I'm just going to have a Pokemon that's getting OHKO'd by Heat Wave. How fun.
Right. Also, Crystal Jongsa Lee has always been a really good player in Korea. He's topped a lot of like multiple Victory Road events and even won it at some point. But
Yeah, he beat me
I
in
would.
finals of the one that he won.
No.
Yes, sorry to hear that, but
Very strong player. Very strong player.
but I would say that he's the victim of the circuit being kind of like, one thing a year thing. Um, Last year and the year before that, he missed out on the Trainers Cup event,
hmm
so he couldn't go to Worlds for 2 years. But he's shown this year that he's always been the guy that could do it. So
hmm
props to him. Yeah.
Yeah, Crystal, a very very strong player, and yeah, I mean, just it's somebody that I recognize just from always doing well with almost always whatever the latest hotness is, whatever the latest boring team
Right.
is. Not a creative team chooser, but
Yeah.
plays them very well. Plays them very well.
Mm-hmm. Can't
um,
deny that.
So the runner up
Yeah.
here.
I feel like
Go ahead, Adi.
I was gonna say, you mentioned you had also adapted a version of this team. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw Sejin also, it seemed like he adapted a version of this team as well. Did you guys
Sure.
do you guys all work together to decide that, you wanted to build around Floette into what Alex called President Floette? Did you kind of know going into the tournament that was gonna have a big presence?
So the peculiar thing about our lock-in system is that we had a team lock a week before the tournament, which is, not a thing there, right? You guys
Mhm.
can do it like a few hours ago, right?
Yes. Yes.
But so just before our team lock, there was a PJCS online ladder thing. So people were, showing the results of that, and that obviously impacted us. So we
Mm.
all had in mind that, stuff like Glimora or Floette Calm Mind thing would be striking into our tournament really impactfully. And the thing is, I talked to Jongsa before I logged in, so we were having a talk about this team, and I figured that Jongsa was talking with Sejun at the same time period. So I think we were at some point talking about it, sharing about the info.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of
Yeah.
knew what's happening. Yeah.
Everyone was just kind of
Yeah.
going in the same direction because it was just like, whenever you're running out of time, you just look at the most recent tournament and say that did well. I'll just grab that and run it,
Yeah, and periodically it was such a big impact because there was PJCS ladder thing, and also ladder, the season one ended just before our lock-in. So we knew there were like two big waves just before the lock. So yeah, it was rough
Mhm.
times.
One question in the chat here is do a lot of Korean players or like the top Korean players try to do TPCI events often or not really?
We try to do so when we have the opportunity, but obviously coming from east to west is very pricey.
Yeah.
It's minimum 10-hour flight, and but lately we did have a lot of people do that. In this year's EUIC, there were like 13 to 15 Korean players. There were
Wow.
like 30 Japanese players, so I think it's becoming an habit.
Yeah, it's getting a lot more
You gotta
popular
start
now.
coming
And
to the Australian events, the Korean.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Join the Japanese. Start coming out. That's
Yeah, we
that's
want
not
to farm that. Yeah, good farming ground.
This is also
I-
why we need OCIC back, because nowadays with all the Japanese players and a lot of this Asian players traveling around the world for internets, it'd be so
Very
much
good
fun
point.
to have OCIC and have 150, 200 Asian players come through alongside all the Australian players and a bunch of players from the rest of the world.
That'd be
I
so. I
can
mean, it would
really
be.
strongly agree on that. Yeah, because I
It,
was in 2019 OCIC as well.
Yes, yes. Actually, was I at that one? I might have been.
I've never played OCIC.
Dang, that's actually so sad to hear. Oh my god.
I know, it's so sad. Like, please,
Oh.
TPCI, please.
Um. Okay, so Scizor was actually the runner up here. On a team
Right.
with Glamora, Floette, Talonflame. I gotta say, everything else about the team besides the Scizor, kind of just how it goes. I mean, Talonflame is not the what is it called? The tailwind setter of choice right now. Most people are choosing Whimsicott or Aerodactyl. It kind of
Hmm.
has fallen out of favor for those guys, but um, I think it could definitely make a comeback, especially with it. If more people are leaning towards that Whimsicott, it has a decent edge against Whimsicotts. That part's cool.
Right.
Uh,
So Junhee Lee, runner up here, went for Talonflame because it could go with like Overheat, can deal with opposing Scissor, and also can Gambit.
yeah.
So I felt that was a smart choice because I lost to him in top 8. So it was a scissor to scissor matchup. And funny thing about his run is that in top 16, he was paired against opposing scissor that didn't have Megastone. So it was a metal coat.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then in top 8, he faced me, which was Mega Scizor. So he faced off two fellow scissor players and then went off to top 4 in Sejun Park. And also the funny thing about Sejun and Juni's match was that they already had this matchup in Swiss round 6. So this was a rematch, and
Mm,
back in round
mhm.
6, Sejun won because Sejun was 6-0 in Swiss rounds. So he got beaten in Swiss round and beaten back in top 4, which was funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The runbacks can always be fun if it's an even matchup. If it's a very, lopsided one, then it's always unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then wow, just like dunking on all the Scizor players on the way up with Scizor. How rude. How rude.
No respects.
Right? Um so then Nash, here is your team. I did want to hear a bit about your team and run. So how did you end up we talked a little bit about it, but yeah, tell us how you landed on this 6.
So basically, I saw Ryoma's team with Calm Mind, Fluid, and as you've said, Incineroar, Fluid, and Sinistra are the core of the team, and I wanted to run with it because it felt most solid. And at the point, Whimsicott Glimmera was kind of on the rise, and before that was Aerodactyl, Charizard Y kind of flow was happening with Sylveon, the obvious 6. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like Scizor was having a bit of a, good situation because I can hit Whimsicott, Glimmera, Aerodactyl, Sylveon. And also I saw a lot of Fergeraf variant of that team. So I felt like if I could use Scizor and if I could, read the Fergeraf swap in and beat it with Bug Bite, like Scizor could do a lot of wonders. So that was my plan, and
Mm-hmm.
I tried to, combine the two, and from there on, I figured out that because this is open nature, it's really impactful to have Jolly Nature Garchomp with Habanberry, because I can
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
sure that I'm moving first, and even if it's like Jolly Mirror, I can trust on my berry. So it felt like a definitely good choice for open nature team sheet, and I figured it out as the lock-in day came in. So that was good. And
Mm-hmm.
with Bullet Punch, Scizor can help out beat a lot of stuff, including Charizard Y. People often think that, there's a lot of Charizard Y. Nash, why are you playing Scizor? But one thing they miss out is that Bullet Punch and Rock Slide is just enough to beat Charizard, even if it's bulky.
Right.
And also, Bullet Punch with Dragon Claw is just enough to beat opposing Citrus Garchomp without it eating Citrus. So that was kind of impactful. So
Mm-hmm.
that trick did wonders, and I beat a lot of strong opponents with that, including, Flozel, VGC, and Maluka. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like that was a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly, you're selling me on it a little bit. Like that's always how I felt like Scizor is supposed to handle Charizard, is like it can do just enough for something else to do most of it. Like the
Yeah.
Rock Slide. If there's a really strong Thunderbolt, I know that Rotom isn't actually running it on this team, but that's like another way you can do it. Um, it's like it's able to contribute just because like yeah, if you have to protect Scizor or switch it out every single time it sees a Charizard, you're probably gonna have a hard time in the current metagame. But if it's able to contribute
Yeah,
just that little bit, like you said, then that changes things massively.
exactly.
Okay, let's see. So, I think I grabbed Sejun's team here. So, yeah, people were loving that Sejun was using Mousehold, I guess, because it's kind of like Pachirisu, which I'm like, yeah, sure, another follow me rodent, I guess,
Fun
Um,
fact,
yeah.
Marshall in Korean is Pamiliji, which is 4 syllables, and the first and third syllable is same as Pachirisu. So
Uh,
Sejun always goes like Pa and then writes X and then Li and then X, so it looks like Pachirisu. It's like
I
the
it's
mean,
the
word
it's got
same.
play.
three of the same moves as
Yeah,
the
it's got
word
the
play.
same moves. Yeah,
Yeah,
That,
kind of
just
funny.
faint
Yeah.
muscle. Yeah.
that's a good point. That's such a good point. And yeah, I think the only other, well, not the only other thing, but the other two things of note on Sajan's team here are just these two at the bottom, the Viv and the Delphox. I mean, we talked plenty about Flow in Cincinnati, but Delphox is a mega that has been really falling off because it feels like the trade-off for not running Charizard is just not worth it. It's
Mm-hmm.
Charizard has a lot more perks that help it over Delphox. But I gotta say, if you wanted to run Delphox for, if you wanted to find a niche for it, Nasty Plot seems like a pretty cool one. Nasty Plot is something that Charizard can't do. It can stick around on the field and just do very respectable damage. It also means that even though it has worse typing into things like Basculegion and King Gambit, it has better typing into some of the spread moves like Rock Slide. Like you can set up a
Right.
Nasty Plot in the face of a Rock Slide quite easily with a Friend Guard next to it. Your Mousehole's gonna make that doing nothing, and so Delphox not being like extremely weak to any of the popular spread moves probably makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, the other fun thing about Delphox is, you think about this as a Floette team first and foremost, because we've been looking at all these Floette teams. Clearly, Floette in Sin City is the thing that's, so good in the metagame right now. What can you not bring it to? Well, Scizor won, right? So makes sense that Charizard and Delphox are partners. You really don't want to bring it into Gengar. That's probably the most common mega that Floette is really like bad into, and Charizard is generally pretty good into Gengar, but Delphox is really good into Gengar.
Yeah.
So it has that as another advantage. Um, and yeah, I think even well, I forget what the other. Is there anything else that you don't want to bring Floette to? Like I guess opposing Zard, but
It's good into
Glimera.
what's
season.
up?
Glimera is the issue.
Glim.
Yep.
Glimera is on the
Delphox.
rise, and if you are using Floette and Charizard Y, Glimera is still an issue. But if you're using Delphox, it's not an issue anymore.
That is cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Very well put. Lastly, evil Viv. This Pokemon with the Choice Scarf has just been kind of, I don't know.
One attack stuff. I love
Yeah.
It does
It's-
wonders in the stream match, so definitely go check top 4 match.
Yeah, it's so annoying to deal with just the fast sleep, even with the nerfed sleep. It can just we don't have some of our old reliables like safety goggles to make Pokemon like this a little bit less valuable. So, Scarf Viv been an evil one for sure.
We also
This
have
one's
another
perfect speed
Viv
tier too.
in top 16. Park is using Viv Blastoise.
Oh yes, that team. Yes, that one. Let me see. I think I didn't
Yeah.
do this one as well. Oh, I opened it in the wrong browser. Here we go.
Right.
So this one got top 4. And actually, this is the first I'm seeing of this one. This Excadrill, with Quick Guard as well on the Talonflame. This
Quick
is
Guard.
actually a very funny take on Rain. And like it doesn't feel like Rain when you say like, my Rain team has Floette, Excadrill, Talonflame, but the rest of it is very much Rain, so
It is.
that's so cool.
Great
And that's Mold Breaker as well on the Exca, so you get to have your fun against Mimikyu,
Rotom.
against Rotom, against I guess Hydreigon.
Again.
Delphox, you're
Delphox.
right.
Yep.
Yes, that's true. And yeah, there's no anti-synergies there because you're not using your own Rotom or anything like that, and you don't really care about sand. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if we'll go through all 16 of them, but Nash, what would you say are some of the highlight teams from the rest of it?
On top 8, there's Jungyu Che.
Okay.
Can you pop
This
that
one?
up? Yeah, this team was actually created by Mija, Hyung-woo Shin. The one that won the first Champions VR. And unfortunately, Hyung-woo ended up in 17, bubbled out, but his team made it to top 8 with his good friend. So this was a strong team as well. And you don't see Sand around too much, right? So I feel like this is a good team to put an eye on if you want something unusual and spicy. And it actually works out very well as well.
Yeah, Sand feels like a very strong meta call. Sun everywhere. We're gonna see shortly in Victory Road that Snow won over there, and Vivillon, another thing that's like trending upward. Like there's more and more reasons to be running Rock Slide. So why not? What are some other ones then from like top 16 then?
You got to pull up Song Jun Hook's team.
Yep.
That team was pretty fire.
Is that this one? Oh,
Junhyuk.
Whoa.
Yes, this is a Snorlax team, and actually, there's a this team actually was created by this guy, Junhyuk Song. Was influenced by Mumemo, the Japanese guy, and The senior who picked up this team from Junhyuk went runner-up in seniors division. So
okay.
essentially went for 2 top cuts, and Snorlax was kind of burdensome for us. It works a lot like Dondozo back in Scarlet and Violet. Goes for
Yes.
Yawn, yeah, spamming Yawn, and for the senior guy who went runner-up, didn't use high horsepower, but went for Fissure. So
See,
that's
I
kind
like
of
the
spicy.
Fissure one better.
Then you got the Dozo.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's a Dozo.
I think Fissure's pretty real though. On Snorlax specifically, because it just lets it 1v1 some Pokemon that it has no business 1v1ing otherwise, most notably something like Sinistra or Archaludon, like Pokemon that are going to struggle to do enough damage to KO Snorlax anytime soon, but also Snorlax is going to struggle to KO them even while they're asleep from Yawn. But if you just use Fissure as like a not like a I'm going to rely on this to take out more than one Pokemon, but if you specifically set up Snorlax versus something in a 1v1 in the end game, Fissure is actually a very reliable option if Snorlax is healthy enough.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
high
felt like
horsepower
it
is
was
pretty
a
low value, so it makes
Kiran,
sense.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say high horsepower just in general is like pretty low value on like a
Yeah.
non-stab, non-invested like Snorlax. So I think it makes a lot of
Exactly.
sense to run Fissure. Like
Yeah,
Fissure force 1v1s that you win in the end game.
Nash, you were saying?
Yeah, I felt like it was a very strong meta call as well because the meta was kind of leaning towards Floette, Sinistra, and Incineroar. You want to like stay there for a while and take time. But if opponent is clicking Yawn and Fissure, you can't do that. You're eventually gonna get hit at some point. So it was quite threatening for me.
I like it. I like it a lot. After trying out a team from Shandy that used like Stealth Rock's Garchomp with this Snorlax with the Fissure one, like Yawn is just so effective, and like this guy, you can play a very simple game with Snorlax, which is just if you kill Sneasler, then they can't kill Snorlax ever. Like as if you can just beat the Sneasler, Snorlax still he will do the rest. He is too
Right.
tanky.
Also not to lag too much, but to add a little bit of info, Hyung-woo Shin, when he won the VR lately with Melodic, he used Hypnosis Melodic, right? His take is that the sleep nerf is not exactly a nerf, because
Oh, I have heard this
you're
one. Go ahead.
yeah, as a player, you're pretty sure about how long the sleep is gonna take. So you essentially, with a slow mon, you can, pinpoint them on awake and put them back into sleep. So it actually makes a skill set. It's more of a skillful play out than what it
Right.
was before.
It can be a little bit difficult, yeah, if you protect on that turn that they're guaranteed to wake up. That happens a turn earlier now. And to just go right back to bed, like you said, it's tough. All right. So then, any other notes on Korean Nats before we move on here?
I feel like that's enough for today, like in general.
Yeah.
Rest are the stuff you see too often, so I don't really think.
Right. 100%. So yeah, I just answered somebody in the Twitch chat asking this as well, but I'll mention it here as that Nash provided the teams for us. Nash collected them all and also sent them to VictoryRoad. So VictoryRoad will be updating it soon. But yeah, with that then, oh, we actually never talked about this little thing as well. This is the last thing. This is fun. So go ahead.
So this is the how do you call it in English? What do you call
Titles?
this in game?
Maybe titles?
Titles? Yeah. So these titles, you guys all know about this. If you go into ranked battles and match up an opponent, you get to flash out these stuff. And from the tournaments, we got these stuff based on the place you ended. Every participant to the Trainers Cup got the PTC 2026 Challenger, and me, because I went to top 8, I got a TPC 2026 Leader, and then top 4 gets Elite, as in Elite 4, and then Finalist and Champion.
Oh my
So it's kind of
gosh.
cool.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So
Imagine
cool.
flashing it out in ranked battles. Like,
yes,
it'll be awesome.
Yeah, playing on anonymous mode so they don't know who I am, but then they see that I have the PTC 2026
Champion,
finalist, like
Yeah,
something
it's
like that. Who could it be? Oh man. Yeah, that's like so sick. I'm very excited for. I think they've said that they already have these set up for like NAIC, I believe.
Hmm.
So should be seeing some of those there. No, I mean, there's enough reasons to do well at these tournaments, but who wouldn't want another one? You know, who wouldn't want another reason to aim
Yeah,
for
and I
the
feel like
glory?
this is a very strong thing they added because I feel like before in ranked battles, like say Suika always goes first place in ranked battles, but it doesn't really give him any actual benefit aside from, people acknowledging him for it, right?
Right.
But now the game actually, gives you something, even if it's just an honorary thing, it's a good cool thing to add.
Really, it is really cool. Let's see. Do we have teams from Singapore? I'll go ahead and refresh it, and it looks like no. So, I think then maybe I'll just pull up on YouTube the winner team here. Full screen. Ah, that's really big.
Okay.
Um,
While you're searching, um, I saw someone in the chat saying that too bad no one
ah,
will be able to have all of these titles, but I think it's cooler because no one gets it. Like only one person gets it.
oh yeah. The thing is like
The
it's
exclusivity creates the value of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
yes. Like it's the drive to get it to compete for it.
Mm-hmm.
So Critipus on the right here ends up winning the tournament here, and they were using something a little bit different than usual. Like Mega Glamora, I think is one that, speaking from myself, my own experience, I was starting to count out a little bit because
Mm.
it's it feels like Sash Glamora is just always the stronger pick, but the Mega Glamora um, is a really cool one for giving you that extra speed jump, a little bit of extra power too. And pairing it with Ninetales just makes a ton of sense because Ninetales doesn't like to see Charizard, and Glamora doesn't love to see Garchomp, and they cover each other super well there. So that part is it makes a ton of sense to me, and it seems like a solid 6. So I wouldn't be surprised if it caught on a little bit. Like this seems like a team that people would very much vibe with. Um, So yeah, I guess we'll come back to that one more a bit next week. And then Victory Road was won by Kyle Livinghouse Animus using Cleavor over Chris Hod in the finals, also using Cleavor. This was a bit fun to see the double Cleavor finals. And I mean, also, even though it's like it feels weird to say, like it is actually a 5-mon mirror. Charizard and Frostlass, like they don't feel like, I mean, they are similar megas, but they're not. Like, it's just they don't have teams that line up this closely as often, I feel like, and they just completely did here. So it's really funny to see. They also weren't the same across the board because I believe Kyle was running a Sash Cleavor here, and Chris was running a Scarf Cleavor. So not just the same blueprint with different megas, but rather I guess maybe just a little bit of a coincidence. Yeah, like the items across the board are just kind of all different, except for now they both have glasses and whiter. So I guess I want to ask you guys thoughts on specifically Cleavor. Is Cleavor the next big thing? Is this the new Glamora, or is this just a flash in the pan for it?
I've been playing a little bit with Cleavor, and I think first off, there's a couple things that are really cool. I mean, Stealth Rocks is really, really good because I feel like there are so many Pokemon that are really good at doing 90% to an opponent, right? I think like the Swordsnake King Gambit is a big one where you just need to, if you can do a little bit of chip damage, a lot of those times that's what it takes to get the +2 Sucker Punch into range or similarly, the Basket Legion Last Respects, right, is something that a lot of people calc for, but if you get that 12% chip damage, you break that Focus Sash, all of a sudden Basket Legion can win the game. And then of course there's Charizard, right? And especially when you're running another weather team, if you are trying to force that Charizard to come in and out to contest your Frostlass, and all of a sudden taking 50%, so it's a lot easier to knock it out with like a Sneasler or a Frostlass or King Gambit or whatever, right? So I see how it makes a lot of sense here, especially when Focus Sash is kind of super common in the format, and every team has a Focus Sash basically, and you are now either forcing them to lead it or are going to break it. I think it can sometimes maybe struggle against some of the Whimsicott Glamora stuff that maybe you get to lead your focus sash, and you also like. I guess my question is on more of a Kyle's team. What is Cleavor doing? Is it that much better than sorry, not Kyle's team, Chris's team?
Chris's team.
Is it really that much better than Glamora, which is otherwise a team that we see Glamora on pretty frequently? The other thing that I hate about Cleavor is that when I tested it, I would miss my Stone Axe constantly. Have fun with your 90%
Right.
accurate move. You will miss it into Incineroar Wars multiple times in a game, and you will feel really sad. That is my experience with Cleavor.
Right.
Good
I think
points. And
Go ahead, Nash.
thank you. Exactly on the same point. Like Adi said, focus sash is so prevalent, but
It's the sash.
because of that, having feint is very important, I think. There's a
True.
lot of like wide moves, wide guard out there to block rock slide, heat wave, and stuff. And going feint against it is cool. And also feint is very good against Whimsicott that has sash. So I feel
Mhm.
like this Cleavor can deal with a lot of those instances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good
Yep.
synergy with Frostlass.
Mhm.
Absolutely, feint breaking wide guards for this blizzard, and then yeah, this is like the sash killer. If you're gonna lead your sash guy, well, it's gonna get finished off with a feint. If you're gonna put your sash guy in the back, then you're gonna deal with the rocks. So,
Right.
very much on the same points that you guys were already hitting. Focus sash is so good in this metagame, so having a team that's built around making that item less valuable is huge. Let's see.
That
Go
being
ahead.
said, again, at least on Chris's team, we normally see a Glamora in that slot, and Glamora also breaks sashes with toxic
It
strikes.
does.
Not
That's
as
true.
consistently, but so I think that's the big trade-off, at least for me, on these Sun teams. I don't know if I think Cleavor is the best. I don't think Cleavor is necessarily better than Glamora on these Sun teams, but I see the vision a lot more with Kyle's team with Frostlass and how it can take advantage of the rocks to beat Sun a little more consistently.
Then let's see. So for some of the other teams in the top cut here that are notable,
You gotta shout
wait,
out the brothers getting second and third.
Yeah.
Chris.
Oh,
But
I didn't mention that part.
How screwed up is it
Right.
to have Cleaver against your brother?
Yeah.
Wait, did they fight? I actually thought that they could have met. They
Yeah,
could-
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
they played in
played
top
in
four.
top four.
Wait.
Which is,
Wait, am I still?
Like imagine Chris
Oh, no.
Han
No, they didn't
pinpointing
meet. They
his
could have been
brother.
in finals. They
Oh,
could have been in
they didn't
finals.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I thought they played in top
No.
four.
It could have been a
They
Han
went over.
final. It
What
could have
a
been a Han
shame.
final. And it would have been
Oh,
mega
the
sick.
Han final was
Obviously, Kyle, it's awesome that you won this thing, but like the Han
Mhm.
final would have been such a fun
Such a
storyline.
fire.
all the
Yeah.
people wanted.
Still really cool, and also Kevin is still a senior, right? Like not even
Right.
master yet,
Yes.
and is just
Highly.
slaying masters 10-0 in Swiss. Like it's an overused joke at this point, but like, gosh, when this kid comes for us in masters, like good luck. He's just only going to get better at this point. Like you have to imagine he's only going to get better. Like that's
We
scary.
need new division. We need new divisions for actual seniors.
The Unk division. We need the Unk division. Save us. Oh man. Let's see. So then yeah, the Mega Garchomp one here, it's like actually a relatively boring-ish team, but they decided that like there was no better item to run on Garchomp. And also it's a Trick Room team, so why not make your Garchomp slower in Trick Room when he needs to be? I just thought of that now, and I actually don't think it's like that real, but I don't think it's that fake either. It's kind of funny. That's kind of cool. The thing about Mega Garchomp is that, as I said, it does get slower, and it gets like a decent amount stronger, and then it has an ability that it mostly isn't using. So it's like usually not worth it, but they, I guess, didn't want Scarf on this team, and they didn't feel like any other item was more worth it.
Well, and this team does not have a sand matchup, right? So I think they're just saying, yeah, if you bring sand against me, I'm just going to drop the Charizard and go Mega Garchomp.
That's actually kind of true. I guess they're just like, yeah, daring them. Like, bring that Tyranitar. That's crazy. Because it gets some extra bulk stats too, I'm sure.
Right.
Gun to my head, tell me Mega Garchomp's like full stat line. I couldn't tell you anything except the offenses, because I know it's 170 attack, And because we did a calc is right the other day, its special attack is 120. I know that its special attack is 120. And I know that it gets slower.
I think it's 92 speed. That might be a
Yes.
guess.
It just drops 10. It just drops
Yes.
10. Let's see. A Scovillain team, honestly, and this one's from Donald. I forgot. Donald is a homie, but yeah. Honestly, Scovillain is not one that I think has been doing too well recently. Like, it was like, people might have doubted it at the beginning, and then it was like, no, this thing's very real. And now it's like, it's a Charizard metagame. Charizard runs the show. Good luck when Overheat's doing 100, or not Overheat, Weather Ball's basically doing 100. So yeah, Scovillain has not been seeing as much use as of late. And what's funny is I don't think Donald will care about me saying this, but he said from his run that he was like, Scovillain was great early, and then once I got to day 2 and started playing real players, the Scovillain stopped being good. So yeah, I don't know if I'm a Scovillever right now.
It's probably just on sand, right? Where the one where you get to have your best mega possible into a Charizard, because it is quite good into a lot of the other teams. Just not the Charizard teams.
I imagine to have a pretty good time against Kyle's team. Like, for example, like it looks like pretty all right into Kyle's team. So I guess it's gonna take a lot from a Stone Axe. That Stone Axe is gonna hurt. But you'll break the sash. You'll break the sash right back. Let's see, Skarmory. What's funny is I think Feist won a grassroots like limitless tournament with this one. And otherwise it's just kind of like a bunch of good Pokemon, just good stuffs for the most part, just Tailwind offense with Skarmory. Let's see, any other cool ones before we move on to doing Indy really quick. Let's see. Worm! I do love Worm, but I don't know if I believe in it enough in this format. Yeah, he's just here. He's just hanging out. He's been reduced to being an Iron Defense body press bot. So sad. You hate to see it.
We did see some Lopunny being shined, so
there's at least 2, right? Maybe
yeah.
Well, in 15th place.
This one's kind of wild. It's got Ceruledge with that's actually the set I really like on it. I did a video with Colin, and it went big-ish, but with that set, I really like that one because it just feels like it is the one that matches up really well into most of the big 3 Pokemon, like King Gambit, Basket Legion, and Sneasler. Sneasler's obviously doing nothing to you because you're a ghost. Colbur lets you take on King Gambit's attacks, and then a +2 Shadow Sneak will KO most Basket Legion, like if they're the Scarf set, for example. So that's pretty cool. No, I actually rock with this team for the most part. Not the Viv, the Lopunny also has Encore, which is always good, and Quick Attack. Yeah, I don't know. It seems solid. I buy most of this. Did we talk about
Lopunny? But I think Ceruledge is probably underrated, especially if Zard's going to have this high usage.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I think the main thing is like, just can you dispatch Garchomp fast enough? Like, I almost would have like looked at Triple Axle on Lopunny just for that reason. Though I wonder if Garchomp just survives Triple Axle with Citrus. Like, he just, I don't know. I'm wondering because he might. Calca's right, I guess. I could look, but somebody said, did you talk about Lima in the finals that ended up happening? We talked about it already. Yeah, we did cover that at the beginning.
And if you missed it, you have to check it out tomorrow on YouTube.
So true. See, Johnson's back and be up here. Says it doesn't. The Triple Axle doesn't kill. I think that sounds right.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Garchomp's just too tanky. And then you're gonna take a cool 16% times 3, like basically 50 or whatever. Just for thinking you could kill it.
It's a 75% chance to kill through Citrus. If
Are you jolly on the Lopunny?
Yeah.
Okay.
With no attack investment.
What's the Garchomp? What's the Garchomp?
Just 32-0.
Wait, you're no attack investment on Lopunny?
Yeah. If you have max attack, then you kill.
Oh, then it's just dead. It's just dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
you don't need much attack investment to guarantee it.
Johnzu was not backing me up.
3 times it's dead. Yeah.
Okay, Citrus Chomp. Yeah, you could go like Impish Chomp and you could live it, right? Like you can't.
Dude,
that's
actually, what I was running.
like,
But it wasn't
You're right.
red.
You're right. No,
It was on the
you
Shandy
put enough
team.
defense investment, you can live. I don't think anyone is putting. Maybe you do on Citrus. Maybe you run a lot of defense investment. I thought they were mostly SPDF.
Right. The it was this team, the one that this Garchomp that with the Sand Tomb Stealth Rocks. This one I didn't build this. Shandy built this, but it is Impish Max HP Max Defense Garchomp with 0 speed.
Okay.
But
That one
no,
will live
you're
in
right.
Triple Axle.
You're right. All the other ones are. I was very wrong. It's dying to the triple axle. So then I think we should run triple axle. I think we run triple axle. Okay. Indy is coming up. Adi, can you grab the numbers for me for this one? But yeah, Indy, it's over 1,000. And it is going to be the first one for champions for NA as well as TPCI, right? Like because we haven't had any of those types of like championship point earning regions ones. I haven't had this yet, I guess. So the big ones with the stream and stuff. What's that?
We are at 1,152 players.
Okay.
Gosh,
Yes.
that's a lot.
So you got to pick one person that you think is going to be winning it. But yeah, this is going to be so exciting, Adi, for you and I. We are both going, and we haven't had this experience since San Diego, right? I mean, we've been to some first in formats since then, but this is first in a new game, and that there's just so much excitement for this one. We're at a point though where the metagame is quite developed for this tournament. I don't think that I don't know. I don't feel like that a lot of the other first in format tournaments felt as developed as this one feels like it's going to be. We have a pretty good idea of what the top teams are because of how many online tournaments, how many tournaments in other regions there have been, like Korea and such. We don't know how, and like with all those grassroots and stuff, there's just been so much development. Somebody asked, is Nails going along? Nails is going. Yeah, Nails is going to this one. Good amount of tub.
We will see. I think that it's certainly more developed than I remember like Dallas and Sword and Shield being. But I don't know. I think part of the reason why it feels more developed is actually that it's not a new mechanic that we have to figure out like how to use and abuse, right? We were a lot of the first month of Scarlet and Violet, we were trying to like understand Terra and what the best practices with Terra was. And I remember, people didn't figure out Yawn was going to Dynamax until after Dallas Regionals, really.
Also,
it
Open
took a
Team
while
Sheet
to really get the metagame there. Open Team Sheet also does make it so information spreads a lot faster. We did have that in Scarlet and Violet as well, but we didn't know about it right away.
Oh, rather, I mean that like that influenced what the first tournament felt like, because it's just like that's also a really wild swing to plan that.
That's true.
But yeah, I feel like there's not as many curveballs this season. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, besides maybe this.
Like I said, this feels like a Reg H tournament with like a little bit of bonus. It feels like the smallest adjustment we've ever had to make while moving to a new game.
I feel like every new format though in general, like there's like this kind of cycle where like almost exactly after like a month and a half, like it looks like the format's getting very centralized, and then kind of like a month later, like we realize that it's not. So it might just be a bit of that. I think there's probably still like a lot of room for like innovation, and by the time NIC comes around, like the metagame is like drastically different. But obviously your points are definitely good in terms of like the drasticness of the change and like less to discover in that sense. So it's interesting.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right because
I think it happened every single Scarlet and Violet, like at least like format where it's like exactly 1.5 months after it looks super centralized, and then like fast forward 1 month, it looks completely different, and so people kind of fall into
Every time that Shadow Rider was legal, it was like, all right, Shadow Rider's back, it's top dog, and then people figure out how to beat it like a specific version of it early on. It has one bad tournament.
Exactly.
And then we go right back to Shadow Rider dominating everything.
Everyone's fraud. Shadow Rider's fraud. It's not good in the metagame, and then you fast forward to the next tournament.
We've done it too many times.
And that's where I'm really curious about Zard. Is Zard going to be like Shadow Rider, where it has the biggest target on its back, and everyone's going to tech their team out to beat Charizard? It's like 50% usage in day 2 in top cut. Like that is to me, that seems unsustainable. But there's also a weird metagame where we do have a limited number of Pokemon. So like either, Charizard is actually the best team by far, and it's the only thing we're doing. And you just have to find the Charizard team that we're gonna be rotating through different Charizard teams that beat other Charizard teams. Or we're gonna see someone, the person who wins this tournament is going to have kind of cracked that and figured out how to beat those teams that no one else is figuring out how to beat, because clearly, at least in these online tournaments, with the exception of Kyle, including in Korea, including in Malaysia, right? Charizard's just winning everything, and so I think it's I think we're gonna see if anyone knows how to beat it. They probably kept it hidden, except for Kyle. Kyle's being very stupid and winning the tournament with his,
So
with his indie
stupid.
team, I guess. Idiot. But otherwise, people are gonna the person who wins this tournament is gonna probably have a team that I think is not Charizard and is gonna face like 4 Charizards in top cut. And gonna just run through them because they have an auto win. Because if top cuts look like this and it's half Charizards, right? You can hedge really hard in the other direction and potentially, if you can get to the field, you can do really well.
Audie, what about both? I think you're failing to realize that the answer is actually both. It's to run the Charizard team that beats all the other Charizard teams. That's the
Right.
true solution.
And that's where I don't know if the format actually is so limited that Charizard is really the only thing worth doing. Because let's be real, the Charizard team that beats all the Charizard teams wins the tournament. We all probably should be running Charizard teams from then on. Like, there's no what are we doing here at that point?
I mean, yeah, I'm with.
We all gave our best shot at cracking how to beat Charizard, and if Charizard still wins, like, fuck it, I'm on board.
I'm with you there. I'm dreading it, but it might just end up happening. So yeah, let's start getting things wrapped up here though, because it's been a lot of fun talking with you guys, but I don't want to take too much of your time. So let's recap some old tournaments and then pick some smart monies for this one. So the winner of Indy in Sword and Shield. So that's actually kind of funny because we're talking about champions here now. We're actually this isn't the most recent game before the last now, but still, Pengi ended up winning this one over Jeremy Rodriguez in the finals. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeremy's not going to this one. I guess there's me, and I will be going. Carson also going. Leonard, I wouldn't be surprised. Andrew Ding. Probably.
We have Alex and Audie in the frame. Let's go.
We do.
Yeah,
we
that's
do.
true.
And
That's
in fact,
true.
this is the first tournament. The first tournament where we brought our signature team, and in fact we played each other in this tournament, and he beat me.
Yes.
He was my second loss, and then I bubbled out of top cut, which is a real shame.
It was
my
so
losses were
tragic.
Alex and Andrew Ding in top 8.
Why did we have to play?
And then Alex lost that tournament, losing to Jeremy in top 4, where I still think about this play where you managed to take what looked like a 50-50 on turn 1 and turn it into a 60-40 and miss your hypnosis. So you don't always get rewarded for it.
No, but we were clicking our hypnosis. Maybe we need to bring that back, Audie. Maybe we just need to start clicking some more turn 1 hypnosis. Anyways, yeah, looking at some of the other names here. Colin will be going. Joe, I think Joe's going. I mean, I can't imagine Joe's not going. So yeah. Let's see then for other names here. So now we're a little bit more recent. Fort Wayne is close enough to Indianapolis for all intents and purposes. And by the way, I was mentioning this before, but yeah, I didn't grab like any of the old nationals when we had like nationals or NAIC. Was NAIC by name ever in Indy? I don't think it was. Like called
Was the
NAIC.
first one in Indy? 2017?
Maybe it was. I always get this one. I always get myself mixed up in this one. It's becoming ancient history at this point. Okay,
It was.
the first one.
2017.
So one NAIC was
First
there,
one.
but yeah, for the most part, the nationals and stuff, they have like too many people from other regions that I'm just like, it's just not helpful. So, anyways,
Yeah.
Justin Tang got was this his first regional win? April
No, this was his
23rd.
second in the season. He won Knoxville first.
Knoxville. Got it.
And this was the first event of Regulation C, when everyone was worried about Fissured and Dozo.
Or
I remember this
Fisher,
tournament
Tinglu, you mean.
because-
Fisher Tinglu.
Sorry, Fissured Tinglu, not to Dozo. And I remember I got knocked out of this tournament in the win-in against Paul Chua, where he hit back-to-back Fissures to knock me out with just his Tinglu left. So this is also the tournament. I remember Fiona and Luca played on stream, and Fiona hit like 4 Fissures against him. Fissured
yes.
Tinglu never had quite the
I
same
remember
moment
that.
after that, but this was a tournament where it was everywhere.
Thankfully.
So let's see. In terms of names to grab from this one, Joe, I honestly have no idea on Luca. Nails, we said, is going.
Yeah, he should be there.
Paul,
He's close enough.
did Paul say he was or wasn't going? I feel like Paul
I
said
think
something,
Paul was
but
going.
I don't know.
I
the
think Paul's
answer.
going.
Got it. Wolf, I have to imagine, is going. So the thing is, Wolf
Mm-hmm.
went to a local, which makes me think that he is, a little bit like
He went to a
obviously Wolf is
local?
so he went to a local
Yeah.
because he goes to Rajan's locals, but like I have to imagine that Wolf, even though he's a very strong player, he might be a little bit concerned with his Worlds invite qualification standings, basically. So I imagine that he's trying pretty hard for this one. And you know what? He's somebody that, when he puts in the effort, I think he can really shine. So I have to imagine that maybe he's going and he could maybe be a good pick for this one. Let's see.
Dude, I got a text from one of my friends who doesn't really play Pokemon, who retweeted Brian, one of our locals, tweet with Wolf in it. He was like, "Imagine playing in your intramural basketball tournament and LeBron
Yeah.
James shows up," and that went viral.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, Wolf isn't even the best player at our locals. Like, we have Justin Tang showing up, and he shows up regularly. We have the number one player in NA.
That's true. That's true.
That's just locals. That's just Pokemon. Every good player has to show up to locals. Wolf's been lucky enough or good enough rather, to win a few events in the last few years and not had to get on the grind like the rest of us. But yeah, well, welcome to the World Race, buddy. You got to play your locals.
Yeah. Yes. I think they were saying that this is like Wolf's first local since 2023, or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been getting all of his auto quals too easily, and so he just didn't have to sweat these. But now he's finally like, dang, this season's a little competitive. So
Yep.
But
by the way, other player I want to shout out on here is Justin Knox, who is one of the very few. Well, I guess not very few. There's a lot of Indiana locals nowadays, but he's I think I don't know if any other. Oh, and Nathaniel Sittler also is an Indiana local. I don't know if he still plays Atmosphere, but yeah, just shouting out the Indiana players who were doing well at the Indiana.
I'll be honest, I had no idea where 45 Mice was from. So yeah, Indiana player, got it. All right. Oh, and then this one, yes. So the most recent Indianapolis won by Rajan, who will be in attendance. There's
Do
that.
not smart money, Rajan. if you're thinking about smart money, Rajan, go watch his NPA set.
No, leave him alone. Justin's going. Nails is going, as we said. Shil Yang probably not going. Leonard, he's been appearing in a couple of these. Probably a good pick. Andrew Zhang, I could imagine playing. Trailer going. Let's see. There's Pengi again and Andrew Ding as well. Some good picks. Justin Tang again. And so yeah, I feel like we've seen a lot of reoccurring names and stuff like that. So people to pick for this one. I didn't actually check how
you did not get this region's regional last year, which was Louisville, which is also about as far away as Fort Wayne is from Indianapolis.
Oh my gosh.
Fake Midwesterner. You leave the Midwest and you immediately forget.
I was like, do we have one? Did we have one in this? But yeah, Louisville, I guess, does count enough. So I guess, yeah, we got Colin here. Colin's going. Riley, probably. Let's see. Carrie's been doing really well lately, and I wouldn't be surprised to see there. Mm-hmm. Carson going. And yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these players on this list went. This is
again
1,100 players. Everyone who could go is going basically in North America. Also, wouldn't be surprised if we saw some players fly up from other countries if they wanted to really get a chance to play in Champions as well.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah. So with that said, then Nash, who is your one pick smart money?
Okay, so I'm gonna leave Wolfie for you.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go for a spicy pick, rather spicy pick. I'm gonna go with Keanu.
Keanu, okay. Keanu, a very good pick.
I'm pretty sure Keanu is going, and Keanu has been pretty desperate to come to Korean server, which I'm running, to ask for help, and we've been giving him sources. So, and Koreans were also quite desperate lately with nationals going on. So we were able to give him all the juicy info. So I'm putting my bet on him.
I love it. That's a good pick. It's a good shout. Kiran, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with my boy Justin Tang. Pretty low hanging fruit, but you know, he last chance for him to get a regional win this season. Lots of top finishes, so I think he'll be gunning for it. So yeah, I'll pick Justin.
All right, all right. I like it. No, I mean a very solid pick. I mean he's won in this area before, and I have to imagine is trying to go all out for the first champions one. But the problem is, I think every single name I say is going to go all out for the first champions one, dude. Who isn't? Who isn't? Adi, what you got?
I think I'm going with maybe the hottest player in the world right now. Back competing this year and has made D2 in every single event. Gotten top 4 and first at 2 of those regionals. That is Carson St. Dennis. He's just been on an absolute tear. Of course, won Seattle regionals, and so yeah, going with him.
Absolutely, absolutely. Been running it. Wait, mine was there and then it's gone. I think it was somebody who was doing well at these ones. But as I was typing in Carson St. Dennis, it left my brain. No. Who did I have? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was I was gonna grab Chris On. It was Chris On who's been doing quite well, grinding the online tournaments, and honestly, I feel like Chris also mixes it up quite a bit. So like even with the team that we saw from darts this weekend in Victory Road, I wouldn't be surprised if just runs something completely different and is just like still gonna make it. Like I think at some point he had like a 8 day 2 streak or something like that, just always doing so well. So I think yeah, it just seems like a solid enough pick and also fun and not Wolf. I was like, I originally when we came into this, I was like, if people give me Wolf, maybe I'll just take him, but because I imagine he's trying pretty hard, but also it's more fun. I believe in Chris too. Okay, so then yeah, I didn't mention it or I forgot to, but some people already did play along, which is great. To leave your smart money picks in the Twitch chat because then we can look at them. You can say you were right next week, and you can also leave them in the YouTube comments because this will be posted before the tournament. So if you are here now but you didn't catch the beginning, it's going to be uploaded on Ani's YouTube channel tomorrow, CK49 over on YouTube. Exclamation point YT in the chat. And then with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up because we're just about out of time here. So sadly, no time for Kalka's right. We'll never know if Lopunny kills Garchomp with triple axle for sure, or if I was just being gaslit. Anyways.
It's gonna haunt you at night.
Yes. So Nash, Kiran, thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always fun to go on Tub Takes. Also, just one last thing. If you like VGC podcasts, you should also check out the O2 Drop, another really good podcast in Australia. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
absolutely. Love the plug. Yeah, we love our other yappers in the scene. What's that name? It's so good. It's so fun. Okay, so yeah, I'll figure out who we're gonna throw the raid over to, and in the meantime, thanks everybody for hanging. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.